So if someone's sitting there and says, hey, look, I've worked for a company for umpteen years, but I don't know anything about a business, but I want to do something, what would you say to them to give them the confidence to maybe take that leap of faith?
I'd say do it because it's the difference maker. That same study you mentioned shows that the racial wealth gap between black and white households is 10-to-1. But when we look at the same racial wealth gap between small business owners, that is white and black-owned business, it shrinks down to 3-to-1, which is to say that white-owned businesses only have 3 times the amount of wealth than black-owned businesses. So starting a business could be the difference between having a more wealthy future or not having a more wealthy future. So I would say get out and go for it and start a brighter life.
Well, what can state and local policymakers do that can help minority-owned businesses? Dr. Simmons?
Market intelligence. I just came from a meeting today where we were talking about big data, and we were talking about the way data actually impacts whether or not you succeed in a new environment, whether or not you understand your customers, whether your customer understands you. And the small business, the emergent entrepreneur does not have the resource to access that big data like the big companies. So what can policymakers do? Begin to have the conversation with that additional institution. And when I say the additional institution, the institution that drives market intelligence, and to funnel some of that data down to the emergent entrepreneurs so they do understand where my product and service, where is it best resourced, where is there a need. We recently brought in some visitors from Africa, Jackson State, and we had a very interesting conversation with Mississippi entrepreneurs. And the visitors from Africa, what they said was, we noticed that you have a lot of aluminum in Mississippi. And they said, in where I'm from, aluminum is the one thing that we really, really need right now. And so that type of intelligence is really what will make a difference between the Jackson Metro entrepreneur and their ability to scale and access some of the high growth funding.
And Kia, what do you think the state and local policymakers can do?
I think there are 2 things they could do. The one, it would be implementing programs that are accessible to the most vulnerable businesses. We want to make sure that the loan structure is such that these very small businesses can access the capital and access the capital affordably. We want to make sure that the loan terms don't exclude businesses, such as we saw with the Paycheck Protection Program. Then secondly, we want to make sure that state and local policymakers, and for that matter, the federal government, is investing in the community financial institutions that support and lend to these very vulnerable and very small businesses, often which are businesses of color. So those are the 2 things I say we could do.
Remind our viewers what minority and black-owned businesses, what they give back to the communities and why they're so important for our communities. Yeah.
Well, black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses more broadly, are a critical backbone to the Main Street community of America, and for that matter, again, Mississippi. What we find is that, for example, Hope has closed 138 small business loans in the past year. 79% were to businesses located in economically stressed areas. These businesses are the backbone for the labor force and economic activity for those areas. So for us, we really want to understand that if they don't have these businesses in place, then that community goes without those services. And so they mean and represent a very integral part of the community fabric.
Dr. Simmons, your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are that the small businesses that set up in the distressed communities, they care not just about the economics, right? Because entrepreneurship is about creating value. And value has 2 sides. It has the economic side and it has the social value. And every entrepreneur makes that choice, right? For the profits that I'm earning, what percentage of it am I going to send back to social value? And what percentage of that am I going to retain internally as my own profit, my economic return? And the entrepreneurs that are invested in the community, socially and emotionally, they're more likely to allocate more to the social value, and that social value is what actually lifts the community.
You have any success stories that you'd like to talk about of that businesses that have really done very well in the community?
Yeah, one story comes to mind from a black woman child care operator, in-home operator on the coast of Mississippi. She came to us in search of a Power of Hope business loan, which is a easily accessible small, up to $10,000 loan under certain requirements. in an effort to save her business. As the interest rates and cost of living increased, she had to reduce her services provided to single-parent homes on the coast of Mississippi. And so she actually came to us for the loan to make sure she could keep the services at a level by which the parents could appreciate. And so that's a success story because she represents, again, a critical component of the local economy to make sure households can keep going about their regular day with no hiccups.
Dr. Simmons, any thoughts on that?
My favorite entrepreneur in Jackson right now is Tony Cooley and Doc Cooley, and I love what they're doing with the iVillage. And so I'm choosing them because they're social entrepreneurs, and what they're doing is they are creating and working with other entrepreneurs to help lift the community that they are serving in the iVillage. So right now they're my favorite entrepreneur, and they're allocating all of their returns 100% to social value creation. So they are my success story.
All right, Dr. Sharon Simmons, Kead Burke, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.